did not let YouTube cut me off this time. Let's go on to the last couple problems I want to do. All right, so in case you forgot, I'm on page 95, and we are looking at, or I'm sorry, in case I forgot, I guess, right? I'm the one who forgot. I'm on page 96, so we're going to look at example 2. All right, Alana uses 1 1/4 cups flour for each batch of blueberry muffins. She has a 5-pound bag, okay, that costs $4.49, and it contains 76 1/4 cup servings. And we want to know how many batches can she make. How many batches? Now, I think this problem is really hard because they give us a lot of information, and some of the information we don't need. And that's what I think is the most confusing about a problem like this, is they're kind of trying to trick you. So let's see what we do need. The one thing I could tell you we don't need, we do, and then we want to know how much the flour costs, okay? So when we get to that part, how much the flour costs, please watch that unit rate video that I posted on Google Classroom. I think it'll help make sense of the order to divide. You know, when we do multiplication, it's way less confusing because you don't need the right order. 2 times 3 is the same as 3 times 2. But when we have to do division, we have to decide what order to divide in. And I really think that's one of the biggest things that we struggle with. So what I told my 6th graders is come up with more simple numbers and ask yourself what you would do. And maybe with a problem you already know the answer. And that way you can decide on the order. Okay, so I don't know. Let's see how this works out. So we know it's 1 1/4 in each batch. Okay, and then we know a 5-pound bag costs $4.49 and it contains 76 1/4 cups. So the first thing I want to know is how many cups are in the bag in total. So I'm going to do 76 times 1/4 cups. So 76 over 1 times 1/4. So I'm really doing 76 over 4. So I'm going to divide 76 divided by 4. 1, 4, 36, 9. So 19 cups are in each bag. So in this bag, there are 19 cups. Now, I don't expect you to erase your work. I am going to erase mine just to give myself more space. So I've dealt with these two numbers. So I'm going to erase that. And here we go. Now, I need to use 1 1/4 cups to make each batch. So I want to know how many 1 1/4 cups go into 19 cups. So that means I'm doing 19 divided by 1 1/4. Okay, because I want to put this into this, and that makes that one my second number. Okay, we've kind of seen that pattern in some of the other problems. So if you can say it as a sentence like that, how many 1 1/4 cups go into 19, then I know it's 19 divided by that. And that's the order I need to work with. So I'm going to do 1 times 4, that's 4, plus 1 is 5, so 5/4. And to divide, I have to really flip and multiply, so times 4 over 5. So I'm going to do 19 times 4, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 76 over 5. And then I'm going to actually get myself a number. 6, 5, 1, 0.5. So 15 and a half 1 1/4 go into 19. So, oops, 15.2, I'm sorry. Because 5 into 10 is 2. I'm just doing silly math. So that means, because I can't do 0.2 of a batch, you can't make 0.2 of some muffins, that's not going to work. I mean, you can, but we'd have to redo the entire recipe, kind of like what we did. And for this, you know what? I'm just going to make 15. Okay, so I'm going to make 15 batches. So that's part of my answer, that I can make 15 batches.
But then I want to know about how much money per batch. This is the part that I want you to watch the unit rate video because it's really hard to decide if I'm doing 15 divided by the money or the money divided by 15. So I'm just going to tell you it's the money divided by 15. So when I do 4.49 divided by 15, which you could do and pause the video, I get like 0.2999, so about 30 cents. Okay, about 30 cents per batch. So money divided by number. Okay, and if you need to, read the problem one more time, watch that little portion of the video one more time, and I think it'll click. Okay, definitely watch the unit rate video because I think that helps, and that's something we're going to kind of keep going with all through 7th grade and 8th grade. All right, why don't you, on page 97, try the your turn. Okay, pause it, try the your turn on page 97, number 2, and then tune back in and I'll show you how to do the problem in case you get stuck. All right, a 4-pound bag of sugar contains, so 4-pound bag contains 454 1 teaspoon servings and costs $3.49. A batch of muffins uses 3/4 cup. And we want to know how many batches we can make and how much per batch. Okay? So, the first thing we want to do, so let's look at this one more time. In this 4-pound bag, there's 450 teaspoons. And then it costs $3.49 and there's 3/4 cups. Well, I'm working with teaspoons and cups. So I have to look back at the problem and go, did they tell me how many teaspoons are in a cup? And we are in luck, they did. If not, I'll Google it. So 1 cup is 48 teaspoons. Now, there are several ways to do this problem, but this is the way I'm going to do it, okay? So I know there's 454 teaspoons. 48 of those gives me 1 cup. And since I'm working in cups, I'm going to turn this into cups. So the first thing I'm going to do is 454 divided by 48. Okay, to save us time on the video so I don't run out, I have to start a 3rd video. I will just tell you that is 9 point something, but it doesn't matter. That will only give me, because remember, if I go over, I can't make part of the batch. So I'm going to round it back down to 9 cups. So in this bag, I have 9 cups all together, okay? So I now want to know how many 3/4 cups go into 9 cups. So I'm dividing, and hopefully you knew that. So I'm going to do 9 divided by 3/4 or times 4/3. And I can do some cross canceling, and I get 12, which makes it 12 batches. And then do money divided by 12, and again, it's about 29 cents per batch. Okay, so I hope you got that on your own. Hopefully, like by seeing the example and then trying it on your own, it made more sense. Let's do one more. I would love for you to try it on your own, page 98. And you can pause and do that, because that's the only way you're going to get better. Pause it. Try it. Okay, hopefully you did that. All right, 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, Jolene bought $750 worth of stock. Since then, it has been increasing at an average of 12 3/5% per year. I think that's what the numbers are. You know what? I am going to pause the video. I am actually not going to do this one, okay? Because I think that that's enough for right now, to be quite honest. I do. I want you to focus on the ones that I did. You can look at the guided practice on page 98. If you already did the your turn number 3, sorry, it's just a different type of problem, and let's save it for the next time. I think what you did today is more than enough. So if you did come up with the answer for number 3, the answer is 1070.72. I didn't get the same answer because I think I used the wrong percent. So you can look closely at the book and see if I wrote the wrong percent down. But don't worry too much about that problem. Let's save that one for later. Let's really stick to the ones that we were talking about. The one thing I do want to say is even with percents, let's remember, if I had a 21%, I think of it as these are two dots, so move your decimal back 2, that's really 0.21. So if I had 21.3%, move this back 2, and that's 0.213. If I had 9%, number 2 dots, I move it back 2, I fill in a 0 and make it 0.09. Okay, so I just said kind of a side note, I think that's all I really want you to know about that type of problem right now, is that to do any math with percents, you have to turn them into decimals, which means you take where the decimal is and you move it back 2. I remember 2 because of the percent sign. I think for now, let's leave it at that. You guys keep practicing these. Email me if you have questions, and just know that the ones on the test are a little bit easier than these, but you got to practice them. I know you guys can do this. Don't feel frustrated. Just keep trying. Email me all your questions, and I will see you guys soon.